In this activity, the objective is to provide an experience of divided attention overload, modeling one of the impairing effects of recreational marijuana and its likely impact on driving. The materials you'll need to conduct this activity include 2 Fatal Vision marijuana goggles, 24 activity balls, 8 black, 8 red, and 8 orange, USB number 1, and 6 fabric boxes. Introduce the activity by showing the activity introduction and whiteboard on USB number 1. You were driving in that state of mind, with a lack of focus and attention, and a car. Explain that in this activity, students will be modeling a drive from their home to school, to work, or the store. Have 2 easel sheets, one labeled Safe Driving Actions, use a black marker, and Unexpected Events and Reactions, use a red marker. Ask students, what normal actions do they take to stay safe and not crash into anyone or anything when they drive? Write down the students' responses with the black marker. Examples you may hear may include put on your seatbelt, drive the speed limit, signal when making a lane change, doing a head check when you change lanes. In the activity, we will represent these driving actions with the black balls. After getting 4 or 5 ideas on driving actions, ask students what things can happen while they're driving that they might not have expected, and how they should react so they don't crash. Write down the students' responses with the red marker. Examples you hear may include a car in front of you slams on their brakes, a car cuts in front of you, a child runs out into the street in front of you. We will represent these driving reactions with the orange and red balls. Instruct participants that you want them to catch the black ball when you toss it to them. The black ball represents taking a driving action like the ones we just listed. Have the participant place the black ball in the cube after they catch it. Explain that when you toss an orange or red ball, you want them to sidestep the ball, showing that they are taking evasive action to avoid a crash. Ask for a volunteer to stand behind the person you're tossing balls to catch the sidestepped orange and red balls, along with a volunteer to underhand toss, not throw the balls. The instructor should practice the tossing activity themselves before delivering the activity to the class. Go through first pass of the ball toss activity with as many students as you can without the marijuana goggles. There are enough goggles and balls to have 2 lines of students going through the activity simultaneously. Have the person tossing the ball reach into the cube and grab a ball without looking, and then carefully toss the ball to the person representing the driver. Participating in the activity should be strictly voluntary. Ask a volunteer to stand behind the student and catch sidestepped and missed balls. Ask the class how they did. Was everyone able to drive safely, catching the black balls while avoiding the unexpected hazards, sidestepping the orange and red balls? Remind the class that as they saw in the video clip, marijuana can cause attention deficits and slower reaction. Explain that they are going to experience what it may be like if they were impaired by marijuana and how that impairment might impact their ability to drive. Explain that to create that impairment, we're going to use a special set of goggles. These goggles can only model the impairments of attention deficit and slower reaction time caused by marijuana. It's not an actual experience of being high. Explain that by not catching a black ball or catching a red ball or orange ball then dropping it means they've not taken the right action and have crashed. This, of course, is nothing like actual driving, but it does show how a person's perception, mental processing speed, and reaction time can be affected by marijuana impairment and have an impact on their driving ability. Go through the second pass of ball toss activity with as many students as you can. Have someone record the number of misses a student makes while wearing the marijuana goggles. Have bystander students observe if anyone catches a red or orange ball but then drops it. That counts as a miss. Ask the class how everyone did. Was everyone able to drive safely while avoiding the unexpected hazards? Did anyone miss seeing a hazard, catching a red or orange ball? or take a proper driving action, sidestepping a black ball. Wrap up the activity by reinforcing that the marijuana goggles only model a couple of the impairments associated with marijuana. There are other impairments that will impact a person's ability to drive, like drifting in your lane and not being fully aware of your surroundings. Driving under the influence of marijuana will increase a person's chances of being in a crash. If someone crashes while impaired, the penalties will be as severe as driving under the influence of alcohol, with the most common punishments for DUI offenses being a fine, jail, or prison time, or both. Explain that the goggles we used model marijuana impairments by using a color filter that made it difficult to see the color red. Someone under the influence of marijuana will not lose their ability to see color. What they will lose is control over their abilities to react appropriately to potentially dangerous situations, which can lead to crashes.